In the quiet corners of military history, few things carry as much weight as the image of the sniper. We imagine a shadow, a ghost made of leaves and burlap, rising from the forest floor to take a single, perfect shot. This is the classic ghillie suit, the ultimate tool of the invisible killer that has dominated our movies and video games for decades. From the legendary missions in Call of Duty to the high-stakes drama of Hollywood cinema, we have been conditioned to believe that a man bush is the absolute pinnacle of professional stealth. However, there is a massive gap between the cinematic illusion and the brutal reality of the modern battlefield. In 2026, the rules of war have changed so fast that traditional camouflage is no longer a shield. For many, it has become a glowing target. While the public still admires the complex layers of jute and moss, the elite operators in today's high-intensity conflicts are moving in a completely different direction. To understand why the world's most famous camouflage is failing, we have to look past the movie magic and face a new, technological reality where being hidden is not enough to stay alive. Today, we are going deep into the mechanics of detection and survival. We will explore the history of how a Scottish hunting outfit became a global military icon. We will look at the science of the thermal spectrum and why a ghillie suit acts like a beacon for modern sensors. Finally, we will explore what the world's most elite snipers are using instead of the ghillie suits. To understand why the ghillie is dying, we first have to understand why it was born. The story begins over 100 years ago in the rugged highlands of Scotland. The word ghillie comes from Scottish folklore, referring to a mountain guide or a gamekeeper. These men were experts in the landscape, and their job was to catch poachers who were stealing deer. To do this, they developed crude suits made of scrap fabric, mud, and local vegetation. They realized that the human eye does not look for color, it looks for shape. By breaking up the outline of the head and shoulders, they could sit in plain sight without being noticed. When World War I turned the fields of Europe into a nightmare of trenches and barbed wire, the British Army found itself losing a hidden war. German sharpshooters were picking off officers with terrifying accuracy, and the British had no answer. In their desperation, they called upon the Lovat Scouts, a unit made of those same Scottish gamekeepers. These men brought their ghillie suits to the front lines in 1916. In the static, slow-moving world of trench warfare, the suit was a masterpiece. A sniper could crawl into no man's land, sit in a shell hole for 3 days, and remain completely invisible to the telescopes of the time. This success created a legend that lasted through World War II and into the jungles of Vietnam. Famous snipers like Carlos Hathcock used the suit to crawl through miles of hostile territory, becoming ghosts in the grass. For almost 1 century, the logic of the ghillie suit remained perfect. As long as you could fool the human eye, you were safe. Because the technology of detection stayed the same, relying on binoculars and simple vision, the ghillie suit remained the king. But while we were distracted by the success of the past, a silent revolution was happening in the sky. The age of the human observer was coming to an end, and the age of the machine sensor was about to begin. The single biggest reason for the death of the ghillie suit is a shift in the physics of detection. To understand this, we have to talk about the electromagnetic spectrum. The human eye only sees a tiny sliver of light known as the visible spectrum. Camouflage is designed to match the colors and patterns of that light. But modern war is fought in the infrared spectrum. Every human being is a biological engine, burning energy and producing heat. Your body stays at a steady 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, while the trees and dirt around you are often 40 or 50 degrees colder. This creates a massive thermal anomaly. For decades, this was hidden because thermal cameras were heavy, expensive, and rare. However, in 2026, every squad has access to thermal optics, and every drone in the sky is carrying an infrared sensor. This is where the ghillie suit becomes a death trap. To create that shaggy look that hides you from the eye, you must use layers of burlap, jute, and heavy fabric. These materials are incredible insulators. They are designed to trap air to create visual depth, but in doing so, they also trap your body heat like a heavy winter blanket. As a sniper lies still, their body heat has nowhere to escape. Within 20 minutes, the internal temperature of the suit rises dramatically. Eventually, that heat begins to bleed through to the outer layers of the fabric. To a drone operator flying 2,000 feet above, the sniper is no longer a hidden bush. They appear as a bright, glowing white shape against the dark blue background of the forest. A soldier in a flat, thin uniform with infrared reflective coating is actually harder to see on a thermal screen than a sniper in a massive, hot ghillie suit. Even if a sniper could solve the thermal problem, they would still face the crushing reality of physics. In the history of sniping, the mission was often about staying in one place, but the modern battlefield is defined by speed and immediate retaliation. Today, the enemy uses acoustic sensors and counter battery radars that can triangulate the sound of a shot in less than 5 seconds. The moment a bullet leaves the barrel, the sniper is on a countdown to destruction. Survival depends on the ability to pack up and relocate before the enemy returns fire with mortars, artillery, or suicide drones. This shoot and scoot philosophy requires a soldier to be light, agile, and fast. This is where the physical weight of a ghillie suit becomes a life-threatening problem. When a professional suit is dry, it can weigh 15 to 20 pounds. This might not sound like much, but a sniper is already carrying a heavy rifle, a tripod, a radio, water, and body armor. Every ounce counts when you're sprinting for your life. The situation turns from difficult to impossible the moment the weather changes. Jute and burlap are natural fibers, and they act like a giant sponge. A wet ghillie suit can gain 20 or even 30 pounds of weight in a matter of minutes during a rainstorm. Beyond the sheer weight, there is the nightmare of drag. A ghillie suit is made of thousands of tiny thread loops and hanging strings. In a movie, the sniper glides through the woods like a ghost. In reality, the suit catches on every thorn, every branch, and every piece of barbed wire in the area. If a drone is searching the area, you don't need to look like a bush. You need to get under hard cover. A heavy suit is an anchor that keeps you in the kill zone. Beyond the tactical and technological failures of the suit, there is a biological cost that video games always ignore. A ghillie suit is not just a piece of clothing, it is an irresistible home for insects. Because it is made of organic-looking fibers and used while lying in the dirt, it becomes a biological ecosystem. After a few hours on the ground, a sniper's suit is often filled with ticks, ants, spiders, and leeches. It becomes a trap for sweat, mud, and bacteria. In many historical conflicts, snipers have suffered more from skin infections and jungle rot than from enemy fire. For all these reasons, the heat, the weight, the smell, and the technological vulnerability, the full-body ghillie suit is being replaced by something much more efficient. The modern solution to all these problems is modularity. Instead of a heavy, full-body jumpsuit, the elite operators of today use what is called a Viper hood or a Cobra hood. This is a minimalist piece of gear that only covers the head, the shoulders, and the upper arms. This modular approach solves almost every problem we have discussed. It focuses on the most important rule of camouflage: breaking up the human silhouette. The human brain is naturally programmed to recognize the shape of a head sitting on top of shoulders. By disrupting that specific line, a Viper hood makes a soldier nearly impossible to recognize at a distance. It also allows the body to breathe, preventing the thermal buildup that makes snipers visible to drones. And it is extremely light. A sniper can fold it up and put it in a pocket in seconds. If they are spotted and need to run, they can move at full speed without getting tangled in the brush. We are also seeing the rise of advanced laser-cut synthetic materials. These modern suits do not soak up water and are designed with infrared reflective technology, helping the sniper blend into the thermal background of the environment. As we look toward the future, the challenge of staying hidden will only get harder. We are entering an era where artificial intelligence can scan a video feed and detect a human shape even if only a small part of it is visible. The snipers of tomorrow will rely on technology that we are only just beginning to see today. Fabrics that can change temperature to match the air, and patterns that scramble the logic of computer vision. The ghillie suit will always be a legendary piece of history. It served the scouts of the Great War and the hunters of the Scottish Highlands with honor. But war does not care about tradition. War only cares about what works. For the professionals who have to survive the high-tech, fast-moving battlefield of 2026, the old ways are no longer enough. They have moved on to a philosophy of less is more, prioritizing speed, thermal management, and intelligence over a pile of old strings.